Hello, Maria here. Maria here again. You know what to do. Y'all know what to do. I need you to help me out. Subscribe, hit that bell, like me. Y'all know what to do. So help me out because I got a lot of good information to share with you again today. And this is about the law of attraction, how to attract the prosperity you want in your life. And as we talked before, prosperity is not just about having a bank full of money, but also it's about a way of life. It's about how you treat others. It's about having a gratitude mindset. It's about being caring, empathetic, taking care of the earth, all of those good things. Just waking up in the morning and whatever you have in your life, being grateful for it, friends and family and resources and all of that, that's prosperity. Of course, we all want a little money too to make life a little bit sweeter. I know I do, and I'm sure you do as well. So prosperity is all of those things, including money. So today I'm going to share with you, for the law of attraction, LOA, 4 books that I have in my library that I reference quite a few times throughout my lifetime up until now and continuing, that keep me afloat in terms of keeping that right mindset. Because sometimes we get off track and sometimes we just get to chasing that dollar and not realizing we need to come back and do some internal work relative to creating that right mindset. There's a saying that goes like this, and you may have heard it. I said it on my previous videos. Change your life and you will change your mind, change your mind and you will change your life. So it's about changing that mind, having the right mindset to attract what it is that you want in terms of having a prosperous life. So I strive to live my life by all of those particular values. And so I want to share with you, because I shared with you before that I am new on Fiverr, but I have been able to generate over $1,000 and some and counting as a new seller, selling my services on Fiverr. If I can do it, you can do it. So I am on a mission to share with you all of my secrets and strategies and tips and all of that have helped me to be successful on Fiverr. If I can do it, you can do it. But again, creating that right mindset is extremely helpful. So without any further ado, as they say, and don't forget, subscribe to me, help me out, because I'm going to help you all out. That's what I'm doing right now, and sharing all of my tips and strategies on how to have a successful, prosperous life. All right. So I have 4 books to share with you. And so just bear with me, and I think you will find this to be quite helpful. And it doesn't mean you have to read the same books that I'm reading, but I'm sharing this with you because I want to share with you again that it's you're creating a certain mindset to attract what it is that you want for your life. So it starts with the internal. It's not, a lot of, especially now, it's a lot of external stimuli, what's going on outside of us. But really, the real secret is what's going on inside, and not outside of us, but inside of us, internally. So it's changing that mindset, that whole energy field all around us. That's law of attraction. And again, I've been on Fiverr, and you've seen my results. And that was, a number of weeks ago. So I've increased it since then. I've earned over $1,000. People say, can you make money on Fiverr? Yes, you can. I've done it. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm no different than you. You have talent, skills, abilities, all of that. But you got to have the desire, the right mindset, the discipline, and all of that, and the determination to make it happen for yourself, and be hungry too. All righty. So without any further ado, again, this is one book that I want to share with you. The first book, and this is Prosperity, and this is by Charles Fillmore. Can you see this? Now, this book was written probably, 1930s or whatever. It's a classic. This man is the founder of the law, one of the founders in the vanguard of law of attraction. It's like, again, what you establish in your mind in order to attract what you want for your life. So, Charles Fillmore, I want to give him full credit. This book was originally published in 1936. It's a timeless classic about prosperity, and he examined abundant living and how you and me can create a positive, abundant life. And so he has a lot of books and on the law of attraction, the science of mind, and all of that he's written. And so this is one of my books. Again, I got my bookmark in here and I reference it quite frequently because I want to maintain. Sometimes we slip a little bit, looking for that external world to be the stimuli or what we need. And again, it's what we establish internally. Okay, so that's one book. And this again is the prosperity. This is prosperity. And so it's all about the law of attraction by Charles Fillmore. This man is a scholar. He is an innovative thinker and a pioneer in metaphysics and so on and so forth. So if you're not familiar with him, you can Google his name and get a lot more information about Charles Fillmore. So that's the first book. Okay, the second book, if you listened to my previous video, I said I love autobiographies, and that is really, really true because for autobiographies, I love it because they're telling their story. And speaking of telling the story, this book is The Pursuit of Happyness. This book was written in 2006, and it's a true story, and it's about Charles Gardner. Charles Gardner went from rags to riches. He tells his story. And he was homeless. He was growing up in San Francisco. He lived in San Francisco. And he had this deep desire to make a greater life for himself. He wasn't sure exactly how it was going to come about. He had a young son and he was married, and he was really hoping for a better life. He was married at the time and he was hoping for this better life. And he kept trying various innovative things from an entrepreneurial standpoint to improve his life. And so he and his wife eventually began to not see things, they weren't on the same page. And she said, "What is it that you really want?" He said, "I want to be happy." And so when she was leaving him, she said, "I'm leaving you so you can go get happy." So the rest is history. He wanted to be a stockbroker because he saw that stockbrokers were smart and making money deals, and they were really on top of it. They were very sharp. They dressed up and went to work every day with a suit on without having any of that background, but he was very, very smart. He said, "I think I want to be a stockbroker." So the rest is history. The man went on. You have to read his story, or even it's on video. It was shown, like I said, in 2006, but it's a classic. I have it in my library, as a matter of fact, the video, DVD. And he went on to pursue his dream. He was homeless, got kicked out of various apartments, had his young son sleeping if you're familiar with San Francisco at all, he was sleeping in BART in the bathroom. He had nowhere else to go with his young son. It was very, very, very touching, but he hung in there. The rest is history. This man, he's probably retired now, but he went on to become a stockbroker. Someone gave him a chance because they saw how determined he was. Very, very smart. He studied, took the test, the exam. He didn't have a background at all in it, but he was hungry. He knew what he wanted. He was determined. He said, "I'm going to make a difference in my life. I'm going to pursue this." And he ended up creating his own stock brokerage and so on and so forth. But anyway, again, Chris Gardner, and this book was so inspiring for me. And what I love about it in terms of the inspiration, it told me that you can, against all odds, I guess, let me just put it that way, against all odds. And he had tremendous odds stacked against him. He didn't know he didn't have two nickels to rub together at one point in his life. But that was then, now is now. He hung in there. He was hungry. He was determined to make a difference in his life. He wasn't looking for easy street because it certainly wasn't easy for him at all. Okay? So moving on to the second book. And this book is The 4 Agreements. Can you see this? This book is The 4 Agreements. And this book is by Miguel Ruiz. And it's The 4 Agreements. I love this book because he talks about 4 agreements that will help you live a better life. And just bear with me for a minute. The 4 agreements are: be impeccable with your work. Impeccable means be meticulous, do a great job. So again, if you're on Fiverr, you want to be exceptional. You want to give the customer 100 plus in terms of customer service, customer satisfaction. So they think, wow, this seller really gave me what I was looking for and beyond. So he's saying his first agreement, Ruiz is saying, be impeccable in your work always. The other one is, the second agreement is, don't take anything personal. Don't take anything personal. Don't internalize what someone else has said to you or how they're treating you. Don't take it personal. That's their issue. You don't internalize it. So don't take anything personal. All right? And sometimes people have a real hard time with that. Say, what do you mean don't take anything personal? That was meant to be personal. But let that be that person's issue, not yours. Okay? So you can read the book and get a better understanding too. The other one, which I love, don't make assumptions. You know, I have a lot of brothers and sisters, and I have one sister, and we talk a lot. And sometimes, and she did this as a matter of fact today, on a real personal note, we were having a discussion, and she said, well, maybe this and maybe that about a particular situation. And maybe, I said, you know what? I don't do the assumptions. Maybe you think blah, blah, blah. And I said, let's just get to the bottom of it. Let's find out for sure. So we don't waste a lot of energy on assuming when you can get the facts. So his third agreement is don't make assumptions. Don't assume. Don't assume. The last one is always, what is this? This is always do your best. And it's very similar to be impeccable with your, actually, let me back up for a second. I stand corrected. It's be impeccable with your word, not with your work. I was confusing that with always do your best. It's actually be impeccable with your word. So that's important. And I stand corrected. I'm trying to read it and talk and do the video and all of that at the same time. But I have read this book several times and I reference it. This is another book that I have in my library and I reference it frequently when I kind of start slipping. And I said, let me get back to something that can really help sustain me internally. So let me back up for a second and bear with me again. Be impeccable with your word, meaning your word is your bond. You know, and I made up my mind a number of years ago that I don't want to lie. I want to be honest. I want to be, ethical. And so he's saying be impeccable with your word. That means if you say you're going to do something, then do it. If you can't do it, let that individual know that you can't do it. Don't slip and slide and hide and make up a bunch of excuses. So that relates to Fiverr too. So as a seller on Fiverr, you want to be honest. Now, let me say this. Let me give you a situation. I'm dealing with a seller, and he was taking a while. I was buying a service for him. This is recently. This is kind of just like in the last few days. So I still buy. I'm a seller on Fiverr, but I still buy services to help me edit my videos or whatever else. So he was taking a little bit more time than I thought he should have been taking. So he sent me a message and he said, I just want to apologize. We're having a wedding in our family. And I'm, of course it's a family member and it's very consuming in terms of my time. So I've gotten delayed in terms of delivering your particular project. So please forgive me. So when he said that, I said, I can understand that because for some traditions, weddings, it's not just go to the courthouse. It's going to be like a week-long ceremony with, lots more than we probably can even imagine. And this individual that I'm dealing with is in a different culture. He's an East Indian, and they really, really go way out, which is wonderful, to celebrate a wedding. But he was honest with me. So I said, no problem, I understand. So again, to clarify, be impeccable with your word. That's all we have is our word. Your word should be your bond. And so lastly, I'm back to the last one in terms of the 4 agreements, and that is always do your very best. Whatever it is that you do, give it your all. Do your best. So at the end of the day, you can say, you know what? I did my very best. And you can sleep good at night when you know you've done your very best, by the way, too, and not just come up with a bunch of excuses, woulda, coulda, shoulda, when you can do your very, very best. All right, so y'all still with me? Don't forget to subscribe. All right, and I'm hoping that this is helpful for you. You don't have to go out and buy the same books or read the same books that I'm reading, but as I mentioned, changing that mindset or just keeping your mindset on what it is that you want in life, but working with the internal. And these books help me in terms of keeping me on the path that I'm seeking, which is prosperity in all aspects of my life. I have been successful on Fiverr as a seller thus far. I'm a new seller. So I'm sharing this with you because I want to see you at the top. I want to see you at the top. If I can do it, you can do it. All right. So much for my preaching. Okay. It's not really preaching, but it's just love. And I want to share with you because I want you to be successful. All right. All righty. So one last book, and this book the title of this book is Health, Joy, Prosperity for You, A Science of Living Study Guide. It's actually a study guide, and it's by, he was referred to affectionately as Reverend Ike, Reverend Ike. He has since passed on. Again, this has saddened me when I learned, this was probably about 10 years ago he passed on. But Reverend Ike, he is again a law of attraction in terms of attracting what it is you say you create in your mind. You want to attract the type of life you want to live. So just bear with me. So I just wanted to read this to you a little bit. So y'all still with me? I hope so, because this is food for the brain right now. All right, so the science of living is the teaching of how a person may have a positive, dynamic, healthy, happy, successful, prosperous life through the consciousness of the presence of the Creator. So he's talking about the internal. He's talking about how you can create this certain life for yourself. Happiness, prosperity, love, all those things that we all want for ourselves. So these are my book choices. I have another video where I have some other books that I share with you. And I'm hoping that it's of benefit to you. I'm hoping that you find that the books that I'm sharing is of value to you, because I put a lot into it, and I was thinking, what books do I want to share with my folks today? Okay, so that's it for now. So if I can do it, you can do it. And I want to see you at the top. So keep imagining, dreaming, stay hungry. All right, and y'all know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Well, the like button, hit subscribe. Y'all know what to do. Like and all of that. Thank you so much. And I'll talk with you again. Maria here. Bye-bye for now.